They told me that curiosity was a virtue, that the pursuit of knowledge was what made us human. But what no one ever said was that curiosity can follow you back. Tonight's story isn't just about space or science or discovery. It's about what happens when someone looks too far, when they open a door that should have stayed shut. What you're about to hear is a confession, recorded by one of the last survivors of a classified deep space mission. He says the file wasn't supposed to exist. He says they tried to erase it, but if his story is true, then something came home with him. This is Harriet's eye. I've spent most of my life trying to understand what can't be understood. Maybe that's what draws people like me toward the void, an ache for something beyond reason. I wasn't born brave. I was born afraid, constantly searching for a way to make sense of everything that frightened me. Fixing things helped. When I repaired a machine, when every piece clicked into place, the world felt logical for a moment, predictable, safe. That obsession led me to engineering, and eventually to the edge of everything. After graduating from Cambridge, I moved to the United States and got a position through a private contractor that worked with NASA. We weren't the kind of people who appeared in press releases or wore official patches. Our work was the quiet kind, the kind that didn't leave the building. I never thought I'd be chosen for a mission. I just wanted to understand the machinery behind discovery. But curiosity is a strange disease. It spreads quietly, whispering that maybe you could be the one to find the truth. That whisper became a roar the day I heard about Harriet's eye. It was January the 2nd, 2023. I remember because it was the first day anyone in the lab looked excited in months. My friend Adam grabbed me by the arm, eyes wide. "You have to see this," he said. "You're not going to believe it." He led me into a restricted hangar, one reserved for an unnamed project, the DM-50. The thing looked like a spear built for gods. Matte black hull, no insignia, cloaked in secrecy. Dr. Stanley Jacobs stood nearby, pale and restless, surrounded by physicists. His reputation was legendary, a mind that saw patterns in noise, order in chaos. Adam nudged me. He found something, he whispered. A distortion near the edge of our galaxy. They're calling it an anomaly, but it's different. He thinks it's not a black hole at all. It's a tear between universes. I thought he was joking, until I saw the data on the monitor. There was nothing to see, no light, no measurable matter, just a perfect silence in the signal, as if something wasn't there where there should have been. "They're hearing frequencies from the other side," Adam said, "converted into sound. Jacobs calls it music." When Dr. Jacobs caught me staring, I asked him the question that had been clawing at my chest. "What's on the other side?" He smiled, tired and bitter. "That's what I intend to find out." A week later, I was called into a small conference room. Dr. Jacobs sat across from me with a clipboard. "You wanted answers," he said. "How far are you willing to go to get them?" "Anywhere," I said, without thinking. "Good," he replied, "because that's exactly where we're headed." He told me the name of the anomaly, again Harriet's eye. It was named after his daughter. She died years earlier, and I could tell he never really left the moment he lost her. His curiosity wasn't scientific. It was grief disguised as discovery, and I was foolish enough to follow him. Part 2. The Voyage. 10 months of training blurred into one memory of sleepless nights, psychological evaluations, and simulation chambers that smelled like dust and electricity. The DM-50 wasn't built for comfort. It was a stealth research vessel with technology I still can't fully explain. It could cloak itself from detection-absorbed light and move faster than anything our species had built. When launch day came, no one outside the project even knew it was happening. We left Earth without witnesses, without countdowns. Just a shudder and the fading hum of the only home we'd ever known. For a week, we drifted in silence. The view was pure black velvet, dotted with cold stars that looked almost artificial. Sometimes I wondered if we'd already crossed into the void and just hadn't realized it. Then we saw it, Harriet's eye. At first, it looked like a bruise on the horizon, an imperfection in the tapestry of space. But as we drew closer, it grew spreading outward like a wound, not lightless, not dark, but absence itself. Every instrument failed to read it. Even our cameras refused to capture its edges. Dr. Jacob stood at the window for hours, muttering calculations under his breath. Beside him, Dr. Elizabeth Farrow watched with quiet dread. When the first unmanned probes entered the eye, the ship trembled. We lost signal immediately. The data returned was nonsense garbled code, impossible frequencies, and images of static that seemed to form shapes if you stared too long. Faces, maybe. The next day, we waited for Jacobs to give the order to retrieve them. He didn't. Instead, he smiled for the first time in months. "It's calling back," he said softly. That night, as I drifted half asleep in my bunk, I heard it too. A whisper, barely audible through the intercom system. "Connor." I sat up, heart hammering. The sound faded instantly. I thought it was Adam messing with me, but when I checked, he was asleep 2 rooms away. The next morning, Dr. Jacobs announced that we were going in. Every instinct in my body screamed to stop him, but none of us did. The engines ignited. The stars stretched, then vanished. For a moment, there was nothing but sound, the grinding of metal, the pressure of silence pressing against the hull. Then gravity flipped. I remember slamming into the floor as alarms shrieked and lights went out. The air felt thick, heavy wrong. When I crawled to a viewport, my breath froze. We weren't in our universe anymore. The space outside wasn't black. It was gray, as if color itself had been drained away. Planets drifted in halves, torn apart like broken eggshells. A blue-white sun flickered in the distance, pulsing like a dying heartbeat. Dr. Farrow whispered, "My God. The laws of physics don't work here." Dr. Jacobs only smiled. They work for someone else now. That was when the captain realized what had happened. "You knew this would happen," he shouted. "You brought us here." Jacobs didn't deny it. The window was closing. We couldn't wait another year. "You think discovery happens without sacrifice." The captain drew his weapon, but didn't fire. Nobody knew who to believe anymore. Outside, the eye began to shrink. Our only exit was closing. Part 3. The voice beyond hours, past, or maybe days. Time didn't move normally there. The hull moaned under invisible pressure, the sound of a dying universe collapsing in on itself. I could feel it through the soles of my boots, the heartbeat of something immense, ancient and hungry. Then I received a message, a video file, time-stamped, from Earth. It was Adam. "Connor," he whispered. "I'm still pissed Jacobs didn't let me on the crew, but I've been digging. I found something in the transmissions he decoded. They weren't one-way signals," he answered back. "Whatever's on the other side, he's been talking to it. Be careful." The feed cut out. I confronted Jacobs in the lab. He was pale, sweating eyes, red from sleeplessness. "You made contact," I said. He didn't look up. Contact isn't the right word. What did you talk to Stanley? His lips trembled. Something older than creation. Something that was never meant to die. It promised me knowledge. It promised to let me see her again. Then the whisper returned this time, not from the intercom, but from inside my skull. He's right. I staggered backward, clutching my head. The voice was like metal, scraping against bone, distant yet intimate. You opened the door. Let me through. Jacobs fell to his knees. I did as you asked. Show me Harriet. Outside the window space began to shimmer. A shape took form, not solid, not light, but a distortion that moved like liquid glass. 2 points glowed within it, vast and red and shifting. Not eyes exactly, but the memory of eyes. I couldn't breathe. Every cell in my body screamed that I wasn't supposed to see this. That reality itself rejected it. Thank you, the voice said. A new home, a new beginning. The ship lurched forward. We were being pulled back toward the eye, toward the thinning tear between worlds. The collapsing universe convulsed, flinging debris in every direction. Jacobs laughed through tears. Do you see it, Connor? Do you see her? She's waiting. I screamed at him, but he didn't hear me. The distortion outside stretched its impossible limbs toward us. Black tendrils made of nothing and everything curling around the DM-50. The captain engaged the engines, trying to tear us free, but space itself fought back. There was a flash, a sound like the world exhaling, then silence. When I opened my eyes, there were stars again. Real stars, the kind that shine with warmth. We'd made it back. The eye was gone, fading like smoke behind us. Of the 30 crew members, only 9 survived. Dr. Farrow was alive, but broken. Dr. Jacobs didn't make it, or maybe he did in some other form, on the other side of that impossible doorway. Back on Earth, we were told never to speak about it. The official report said, mission failure due to system malfunction. But at night, when I lie awake, I still hear it. That faint, rhythmic tapping. 3 knocks, exactly 10 seconds apart. It's not random. It's Morse code. HELLO. Sometimes when the signal comes through clear enough, there's a second word after it. Connor. And sometimes, just before the line goes dead, I can hear a whisper under the static. It lives. If you're still listening, then maybe you've heard it too. That faint hum behind the static. That whisper that doesn't sound quite human. Connor Bridges was never seen again after that transmission. The official report claims he vanished in a lab accident. But some people online say his name still appears in deep space telemetry logs, sending the same 3 taps over and over. HELLO. Maybe it's just a malfunction. Maybe it's him. Or maybe it's something else, something that finally found the door open. Sleep well, and don't answer if it knocks.